Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and welcome to Primetime Local News. There are 42 new cases of COVID-19 in Saskatchewan. 31 of those cases are in the south, 6 in the central region, 4 in the Saskatoon region, and 1 in the north. 114 are considered active, 11 people are in hospital. To date, 794 people have recovered. City Furniture and Appliance are celebrating the grand opening of their new Lloydminster store. Jace Mackey has more on what made this family business put down roots in the border city.
Ted Sandu opened his first furniture store in Prince George in the 1970s. Today, the business has grown to 25 stores, including the newest store in Lloydminster. Sandu first came to Lloydminster to look at the Midwest furniture building after Ken Lawrence retired, and he knew the city would be a good match for his business.
Sooner we drove in, I said yes. This is the town. This is the kind of town where we do business. We are in the smaller communities. We are not in the big cities.
Opening a store during a pandemic and financial recession may seem like a risky decision, but Sandu has opened stores during difficult times before.
Maybe it's just my nature. Like in '81, Dawson Creek was depressed. It was under recession. The whole area was under depression. And we opened up, and I didn't worry at all that there's a recession. Because we had a belief that wherever we go, we'll make it. And that's what happened.
City Furniture has a ribbon-cutting plan for Friday to kick off their grand opening sale.
Grand opening, it's running for the whole month of July. We're running a sale, but over this weekend, we're doing up to 50% off on certain items. Otherwise, 30 to 40% off the whole store.
To keep customers and staff safe, there will be strict safety protocols in place at the store.
We have hand sanitizer all around the building. We clean the door every couple minutes, so it's a safe place. And we have social distancing practices, so we don't get too close to somebody, and we make sure even when we're delivering to people's houses that they're okay with us dropping items off. We do curbside drop-off, and we do have protocols to do in-home drop-offs as well.
This family business is hoping to be part of the community and set themselves apart from big box retailers.
We're a family business, 25 stores, and every family member's in every store, so it's ran by a family member. It's not a big corporation.
City Furniture is planning to open a second location in Lloydminster in a few weeks. Jace Mackey, Primetime Local News.
Friends and family of 2 men killed in March gathered in eastern Alberta. They're calling out racist comments directed at them while trying to keep the memory of their loved ones alive. Global's Brianna Carson-Smith has more.
This rally is both a call to action and a way to remember Morris Cardinal and his nephew Jacob Sansom.
He got our little twins into jiu-jitsu, and so a really good neighborhood guy.
The pair was killed in early March while hunting to feed their community. But since their deaths, people in the community and online have speculated the proud Métis men were committing crimes.
That makes me so angry, because if there was anyone that came into my home and was honest and was kind to everyone he knew, was Jake.
You're justifying cold-blooded murder. That's never okay.
RCMP have confirmed the pair was not doing anything illegal. Jacob's family says police have been sensitive and helpful, but that the racist comments from the public have made grieving impossible.
We want the truth out there. We want people to see who Jake and Morris were as people, not by what their racial profile is and what people are saying, how they're saying it.
Glendon is the small village 10 minutes south of where the men were killed. Resident Ryan Walsh says he has seen racism and intimidation.
I feel that I've tried addressing that, some of the suspicious activity within Glendon, and I felt I wasn't being heard.
That's why this group is calling on local mayors to enact policies to fight racism.
We want our leaders to take a stand and make some changes, use their privilege, use their positions of power to educate and help people find the truth.
It's why this rally is so important to the families and likely not the last they hold.
Our 10-year anniversary is on Friday. We should be in Waterton renewing our vows like we were supposed to. And instead, here I am, without him.
Brianna Carson-Smith, Global News in Bonnyville.
Inclusion Lloydminster has been helping individuals in the community with disabilities by getting them involved and included in the community while giving them the chance to live an independent life. We spoke with two members of Inclusion Lloydminster for more details. I'm joined here with Stacy and Sherry, and they both work with Inclusion Lloydminster. Now, for somebody who doesn't know, what is Inclusion Lloydminster and Inclusion Alberta?
So Inclusion Lloydminster is a nonprofit organization, and we've been active in the city of Lloydminster and surrounding area for over 60 years. So we were established by a group of primarily families and community members who wanted to ensure that our sons and daughters had the same opportunities as any other person to grow up in a family, to go to school, to have friends, to pursue interests in recreation, to pursue career development, post-secondary education, and eventually a home of their own, and lifelong love and marriage, family. So essentially, Inclusion Lloydminster and our partnership with both Inclusion Alberta and Inclusion Saskatchewan supports families who have children and adult sons and daughters with developmental disabilities to achieve good, inclusive lives just like you and I would achieve in community.
And how would you say that Inclusion Lloydminster helps individuals with disabilities on a daily level?
So we work with families that have children and adult children with developmental disabilities on an individual basis, based on their hopes and dreams and what they want their children to be doing in community. The value base that Sherry indicated is that we work with families and individuals to be included in community and to be more included. So following a normative pathway, a pathway that like you or I would have, that you would, grow up at home, living at home with your family, being able to go to play school, being able to be included in your regular neighborhood school in a regular classroom with kids without disabilities, for kids to be able to be included in regular recreation activities in the community, such as soccer, gymnastics, dance class, whatever their interests may be. And for families and their children to be able to, think of what's typical as a teenager and what you do as a teenager and getting your first part-time after-school job, to graduating high school, to thinking around what's your career path after high school. And that entails, getting a job and working towards a career and going to post-secondary studies. And as Sherry said, to be able to think around, owning your own home. Well, first off, you live with roommates, and then you figure out that you might want to own your own home. So home ownership, having the opportunity to all along the way, developing friendships and relationships with kids without disabilities and whoever in the community.
That sounds awesome. And why do you think it's important to have this type of program here in Lloydminster and just all over?
What we know really clearly is that individuals who have the opportunity for an inclusive life, so as Stacy said, right from growing up in a family to eventually attending post-secondary, if that's a dream that someone has, we know very clearly that someone who lives an inclusive life has better life outcomes. And what I mean by that is someone who lives an inclusive life lives longer, spends less number of days in hospital, has stronger communication skills, is better able to engage and read behavioral cues in social settings, are less likely to live in poverty, are less likely to experience abuse. So the life outcomes tell the story very clearly why an inclusive life is not only desirable, it's a necessity in ensuring the safety and well-being, and also in ensuring that we have a strong community. Our communities are better because of the contributions of people with developmental disabilities.
And has COVID and the pandemic had a big effect on what you guys can do?
I think it's had the same effect as what any other organization or any other family has had in our community. So it definitely has changed how we're doing our work, because so many kids have been learning at home, have been, doing virtual recreation activities. And, it's definitely affected the workforce that, people with intellectual or developmental disabilities are part of that workforce, that some people were laid off. And now that, there's reentry plans and that people are entering back in the workforce, so are those with disabilities as well.
And we kind of touched on this already, but this program, you really just want to get people involved and have a better life for maybe the chance that they might not have it. Do you think that these programs should be more common in communities around Canada and Alberta and all over?
Absolutely. The difference for us is that the support that we provide is really around capacity building. And so we focus on building the capacity of families to have a clear and sustaining vision. We focus on ensuring that community has the capacity to be inclusive. So it's really important that we draw the distinction that it's not about getting our sons and daughters ready and skilled up for inclusion. It's really about preparing community to be welcoming, to be engaged, and to recognize the contributions of people with developmental disabilities. And across the country and around the world, never has there been a greater recognition of the importance of diversity. And Inclusion Lloydminster really builds a foundation for that here, right in our own community, to inspire families, to interconnect families for that mutual support when things are difficult, and to really support community, whether it's an educator, a soccer coach, someone teaching swimming lessons, an employer who's saying, you know what, we really want to be inclusive. We know it's a better way. How do we do that? And so our support really focuses on the capacity for people to have the resources and the knowledge that they need to ensure that they're not only providing an experience, but they're really engaged in understanding the contributions and the benefit, both for the person with a disability as well as for our community.
And if anyone wants to contact you or get involved with Inclusion Lloydminster at all, how can they do so?
So there's a number of ways that families and community can connect with us. They can call 306-825-5918. They can like us on Facebook. They can check us out on our website, inclusionlloydminster.com. And they can watch for upcoming events. We host information sessions. Of course, with the pandemic, we're not doing things in person. However, there are still family sessions that are happening virtually. We'll be having virtual information sessions coming up. So for people to follow us and to stay in tune with those activities. And as Stacey really emphasized, our work happens on an individual basis as well in supporting individual families and individual settings to really foster inclusion. So people can reach out and we'll either connect them with an upcoming session or provide individual support. And there are quite a number of initiatives in Lloydminster, right from recreation liaison support to inclusive education support that Stacey has referenced, inclusive post-secondary at Lakeland College, the Rotary Employment Partnership, and our Engaging Families Creating Good Lives initiative, which is right from individual workshops to family follow-up and sessions for community members.
Well, thank you both for joining me today. Now our Connor Chan will take a look at your weather forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Taking a look at temperatures right now, 23 degrees right now is the current high right now. We were expecting some rain from yesterday. I did mention we could have a 56% chance, but it hasn't come quite yet, as that 23-degree mark is still what we are sitting at right now with some cloudy skies and some sun right now. As we take a look at some other temperatures across the area here, 25 in Vermilion, 25 also out for Vegreville, 27 in Edmonton with Cold Lake and Bonnyville sitting at 19 and 21 degrees. Also 21 degrees for Lac La Biche as well. A little bit cooler than what we are seeing up here. 25 down in Provo and Macklin, 24 degrees for North Battleford, 23 in Maidstone, 22 in St. Walburg, and 21 in Meadow Lake with 24 degrees also out in Green Lake. So here's a look at the satellite radar map as we take a look at it right now. A bunch of precipitation and cloud coverage coming in for the coming hours here, as we can kind of see from Edmonton coming in from the west right now. It could make its way up into that Lac La Biche area as well as into the Vegreville, Marwayne area over the next coming hours or so. Of course, it kind of goes up to that about the 6 o'clock mark, as we take a look at that Vegreville, Marwayne. You could see that, but the bulk of it is out in Edmonton. Edmonton right now, and it could see some showers result for our area in coming hours, maybe overnight as well, as we see North Battleford at 14 degrees with thunder showers, heading into tomorrow with 24 degrees and some possibility of some rain there. Cold Lake right now, or Cold Lake overnight, 14 degrees as well with showers overnight, and 21 degrees tomorrow for their daytime high with showers expected. And for us here in Lloydminster, 13 degrees overnight with 21 degrees for tomorrow as the daytime high, with a 52% chance of some showers there. Now, as we take a look at the next 3 days, as I did mention, 21 tomorrow, 17 degrees on Saturday with a chance of some showers, 56% there. Could be up to 3 millimeters of rain there. 20 degrees on Sunday, though, as we get a little bit clearer and also a little bit warmer compared to Saturday, just up by 3 degrees with mostly sun and a few clouds there at that low of 9 degrees. But that is a first look at your weather forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
On this week's Around the AJHL, Evan Kenny sat down with Lloydminster born and raised Daniel Hilzendager.
Joining me today for another edition of Around the AJHL is former Lloydminster Bobcats defenseman and guy who just finished up his tenure in the USHL, Daniel Hilzendager. Daniel, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. It's always a good time to get out here.
Now, Daniel, why don't you just describe yourself as a player for all of us?
I would say I'm a two-way D-man who isn't afraid to jump into the offensive zone, but I also take a huge pride in my D zone and make sure things are done right before I make the jump.
Now, offensive production is one thing throughout your junior career that you did very well. 21 points in your rookie season, coming right out of midget and joining the Bobcats as a 16-year-old. What do you think that first season for yourself was like in the AJHL?
It was obviously amazing being able to play for my hometown that I've watched growing up since I was probably 6 years old, going to the Civic Center on a Friday night. But for me, it was it helped me mature as a person, as a player, going from playing against kids my age to all of a sudden playing against 20-year-olds and basically men, going from playing against teenagers to men. But it was a great experience for me, and I loved it. It was probably the best decision I've made in my hockey career.
6 goals and 15 assists in that first year for 21 points, and then improving to 30 points, 9 of those being goals in your second season. Your second season with the Bobcats, you also got a letter on your jersey. You were an assistant captain. How cool was that, especially being a Lloydminster guy?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Like I said, going from watching and idolizing them ever since I was just a little kid, and then in my second season being able to wear a letter, it was just like super humbling. But also, there's a big responsibility wearing a letter, as you just want to push the guys so they all are working hard. And yeah, no, it was definitely an awesome experience for me, for sure.
And now, Daniel, you were also named an assistant captain in your second year with the Omaha Lancers. Is leadership something you really take pride in, especially, obviously being a leader on both teams there?
Yeah, no, leadership is definitely something I take a lot of pride in. It's doing the little things right, making sure you take the young guys, like the first years, under your wing and make sure they feel welcomed, because everyone, once they start pulling on the same way, that's when the team starts to really click, and that's when the team starts working good.
Now, Daniel, you are committed to Western Michigan University. Why don't you just take us through that process and how the committing process works for yourself?
Yeah, it's I was playing a game in Lloydminster at the Civic Center, and after the game, I had a meeting with one of the assistant coach, and he flew down from Michigan, and it just kind of got the ball rolling there. We talked for about probably 2 or 3 weeks later, and then they offered me, and then probably 2 days later, my family and I, we talked it over, and it just felt right. The team and the coaching staff and everything there just made me feel welcome. So it was kind of, for me, a no-brainer to take the offer, because going to play hockey while doing school just seems like the smart thing to do.
Now, was school always the plan for yourself, or did you ever have aspirations of going through the WHL?
Yeah, I definitely did. I have an older brother. He played for the Regina Pats for 2 seasons. Then he played for Kelowna 2 seasons. So like me and my older brother, I always looked up to him and always like idolized him. He was probably one of my biggest supporters, other than my dad, of course. And yeah, just like for sure it was in the back of my mind, but I never got drafted in the WHL random draft. So that kind of sparked a fire under my butt to maybe decide that I want to try and go a different way. So then I played my first year in the AJ as a 16-year-old, and after that, I guess the rest kind of took care of itself.
Well, Daniel, I appreciate you taking this time and giving us some of your insight. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun. Thank you.
Now our Connor channel, take a look at your weather.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Take a look at temperatures right now. Still sitting at that 22-degree mark right now. A little bit warmer out in Edmonton with 25 right now. 16 in Edson as we move further west. A little bit cooler in those areas in Rocky Mountain House and Jasper sitting at 16. Whitecourt also sitting at 19. 24 degrees for Red Deer right now as we make our way over into Saskatchewan. 25 also for North Battleford and Saskatoon. 24 for Prince Albert. 23 degrees on Melford, and Cold Lake and Meadow Lake both sitting at 21 degrees with 22 degrees up north in Athabasca. Speaking of up north, we're going to go there right now with in northern Alberta and Saskatchewan. 19 degrees for La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, 24 La Ronge and Flin Flon there, 18 in South End, 15 degrees for Wollaston Lake as we move over to northern Alberta, 18 in Slave Lake, 22 for Grand Prairie, 19 degrees, for Peace River. High level in 16 degrees right now, 21 degrees for Fort McMurray, and Fort Chipewyan sitting at 19 degrees. Up further north, Uranium City and Stony Rapids sitting at 18 and 17 degrees there as we take a look at southern Alberta and Saskatchewan right now. 29 in Medicine Hat, fairly much warmer than it is right here. 28 in Lethbridge, 25 for Calgary, 22 in Banff right now, and 23 up in Coronation. So those lower southern areas of Alberta and Saskatchewan are receiving much warmer weather right now. 25 for Swift Current and Regina, 26 in Moose Jaw and in Estevan, 25 also out in Yorkton, and 24 degrees also for Kindersley. Now as we take a look at temperatures across the country, I did mention Regina and those southern Saskatchewan areas very, very warm. Of course, they are having that nice sun there with mostly sunny skies and a few clouds there. 27 in Winnipeg with some cloud coverage. Also cloud coverage in Quebec City and Toronto sitting at 23 and 24 degrees. Fairly cooler in St. John's with 9 degrees and some showers. 18 in Halifax right now. As we move out west, Vancouver sitting at 23 degrees with some cloud coverage continuing on. And up north in Yellowknife with the Northwest Territories, 19 degrees with mostly sun and a bit of cloud coverage there. Now as we take a look at temperatures for tomorrow, 21 degrees will be our daytime high. 22 for Vermilion and Marwayne and Maidstone. 21 also out in Vegreville, and 22 in Edmonton, and we'll definitely see lots of 21-degree highs out in that St. Paul, Bonnyville, Cold Lake area as well. As we take a look at Saskatchewan really quickly here, 24 out in North Battleford for tomorrow, and 22 degrees for Maidstone and other areas like St. Walburg and Meadow Lake and Green Lake as well. So here's a look at what we could see over the next 7 days here as we take a look at that right now. 17 degrees on Saturday, the 56% chance of some showers, as well as a 51% chance for tomorrow, where we could see maybe up to 3 millimeters of rain for Saturday. 20 degrees on Sunday as we start to warm up a little bit with more sun expected there. We'll get a little bit more cloud coverage coming in on Monday with that high of 23, and then 23 also for Tuesday with mostly cloud coverage there, and 26 on Wednesday as we warm up just a little bit there, and 23 degrees on Thursday with mostly sun and a few clouds there. We usually average around that 23-degree mark for our daytime high and averaging around 11 for the daytime low. But that is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news after this.
I'm joined today with Jackie Tomeyer. She's the Assistant General Manager of the Lloydminster Agricultural Exhibition Association. Thanks for taking some time to talk with me today. Perfect. So over the weekend, the Lloyd X put on the virtual fair. There was many days of a lot of things, and it culminated with the fireworks display on Saturday. Can you just talk to me a bit about how the whole entire weekend went?
Yeah, we were excited. We started off Wednesday with the reverse parade that we saw, I'm going to guess between 500 to 600 families and vehicles come to see the floats that were here. So that was an overwhelming response that we didn't expect. We didn't know what to expect, but it turned out really well. And we had our fair food available all 4 days to bring people down here. And then our pancake breakfast was wonderful. We had over 200 vehicles come through to pick up the pancakes. And then it all accumulated with a drive-in fireworks show, and I'm going to guess we had between 800 to 1,000 vehicles that came and participated in that.
And obviously, for part of the week, the weather wasn't exactly what you guys would have dreamed to have, but there was still a large amount of people coming up from the community. So what did it mean to the Lloyd X to be able to have that support from the community?
Yeah, Wednesday was almost a full torrential downpour all day long, and we still had so many people come. Our greeters, we had a lot of volunteers at the gate greeting people, and they just had all smiles all day long, and we really appreciated that. And then it was a little bit off and on all week, but every evening was beautiful for our outdoor patio, and people really took advantage of that and enjoyed it, and we were happy to welcome people back to Lloyd X and have a little bit of fun on the way.
And I know when I spoke to you on the day of the reverse parade, you were saying that the Lloyd X is an event organization, so you wanted to make sure that you would be able to put on an event this summer, even though it wasn't the traditional fair that people here in Lloydminster are used to. And so just kind of with the sponsors, you guys were able to get together and host this. Just how was that able to come together?
Yeah, we had some incredible sponsors come on board to help us because, as everyone knows, our economy is not doing the greatest, and especially for the eventing world, we don't have any income. So we couldn't necessarily put on a fireworks show and invest the cost that would be. So Lloydminster District Co-op and Synergy Credit Union came on board to help us with the fireworks show. And then we had the City of Lloyd and other sponsors, Weir Vet, Animal Hospital, come on board and help us with some of the other costs of trying to put on. There's always costs incurred in security and in fencing and that sort of thing. So we really relied on our sponsors to help us put on Homes to Go, Farm Credit Canada, helping us do some of our online events and put up some prize money and that sort of thing. So that's what we relied on our sponsors, is just to cover some of those costs to bring it to Lloydminster.
And I saw a lot of people, especially of the fireworks, posting photos of their time and their experience. What kind of feedback have you heard from the community after the virtual fair?
Yeah, we had tremendous feedback. It was really, really a great evening. We greeted a lot of people at the gates that thanked us for putting something on Lloydminster that was fun and it was safe. And our fireworks crew that we hired did a great job of making sure that the show was all up in the sky so that no matter where you were around the grounds, you could see it. So we were just appreciative of that. Social media, we had lots of great comments, lots of great messages. And I've heard from a few of our directors that, neighbors and friends texted and called them and said, thank you so much. That was a great evening that brought a little bit of normalcy to our summer.
And obviously a lot of different events at the Lloyd X have been either postponed or canceled for the time being, but are there anything that you guys are looking forward to in the upcoming weeks and months?
Yeah, we're looking forward to doing actually a lot of cleaning and a lot of maintenance that we maybe normally wouldn't get a chance to do. So right now we're just cleaning up around the yard and doing some of that. We are hopefully going to plan to have an auction later this fall to disperse some of the equipment that we maybe don't use anymore around here. So we are looking forward to that, and we hope that people will come and find some treasures that have been here at Lloyd X for a while. And then we are still planning some of our fall events, like Stockade Roundup. We're still trying to plan. I'm sure we'll try and plan Christmas Bash, Harvest Festival, those sorts of things. And we're optimistic that we'll be able to hold some of these events in some capacity.
Perfect. Well, thanks for taking some time out of your busy day to talk with us and highlight the weekend that was here in Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today is Angie Jarrett, a member of the Kiwanis Club of Lloydminster. How are you, Angie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very good. What exactly is the Kiwanis Club of Lloydminster all about?
Okay, well, the Kiwanis Club is all about serving the children of Lloydminster and the children of the world. So it's a global organization that has been around a very long time, over 100 years. And in Lloydminster, it's been here since 1983. So what we do is we serve the kids of Lloydminster, make sure that they are healthy, happy, the emotional needs are being met, and we help out wherever we can.
And I know the club is having a 50-50. Is this a yearly event that the club usually holds?
This is a first year that we are doing this. So this is the inaugural one. We're hoping to maybe do this every year. It was because of COVID, our typical fundraisers that we would normally be doing in the year are kind of been put to the side because a lot of them are under social activities. And with limits in social gatherings and everything, we wanted to come up with something where we could raise some money for our club, for our service projects. So yeah, we have one of our signature projects is the Santa Project. And that has been going since 1984. And it was started by, Ken Ebert. And what we do is we bring Santa to all of the kids in Lloydminster from pre-K to grade 2. And we bring Santa to the schools. The kids get to come and sit on Santa's knee, talk to Santa, and Santa gives them a goodie bag. So we do give all these kids in Lloydminster, it's around 2,000 bags now every year. And in the bag, there's chocolates and a candy cane and some candy and Play-Doh, a bag of chips, you know, just some small things, a Christmas orange in there. And, you know, a lot of kids are so thankful to be able to have that. There's a lot of kids, well, I don't know if there's a lot, but there's definitely some kids in Lloydminster that's the only thing that they get. So it's very near and dear to our heart and very special to us to be able to do that. Another project that we are doing is the Terrific Kids program. And the Terrific Kids program is we supply the recipients, this is done in the schools, elementary schools, and teachers will recognize kids in their classes for achievements or goals that they have reached. And so we provide them with their certificate, and we have a very special Terrific Kids pencil as well. And this is a monthly program during the school year. And so we do that for them. And this is another way to help recognize kids that may or may not get recognition otherwise. And then a new one that we just started last year was the Festival of Lights at our Kiwanis Park. So we have a Kiwanis Park that we redid about 8 years ago. It took about 3 years to do it. And we decorated it up with Christmas lights and just made it really festive for the holidays. And it was a joy for the community and a joy for the children.
Has Lloydminster residents shown lots of support so far with the 50-50?
So far we're getting a good response, but we can definitely get more. It's hard to get the word out because of social distancing limitations and that sort of thing. So we are working on, I do a lot of online posts through what's happening in Lloyd and through our Facebook page. But this will be a great exposure for us to help us boost some sales with that. So.
Perfect. And when exactly is the due date for people to be able to purchase tickets for this?
Our draw date is October 9th. So it would have to be before that. So I guess October 8th or before we do our draw on the 9th.
So how exactly can Lloydminster residents be able to purchase tickets for the 50-50?
Our Kiwanis members have tickets available. So if you know someone with Kiwanis, you can get a ticket through them. If you don't, that's totally fine. You can contact me. My name is Angie, and my phone number is 780-214-1804. Or you can email us at kiwanisloydminster@gmail.com, and we can get you set up with tickets. We have 4,000 tickets available. We've sold probably a little over 500 so far. It's only been a couple weeks, and they're $5 each. And yeah, so, and if we sell all of the tickets before our October 9th draw, it'll be a $10,000 50-50 prize. So it's a great prize, 1 in 4,000 chance basically at $10,000. So.
Wow. Okay, well, good luck to you, Angie, you and the Kiwanis Club of Lloydminster. I wish you guys good luck, and I can't wait to see how this event goes and when the draw date comes out.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shelby.
All right, taking a look here at your 7-day forecast one last time. 21 degrees for tomorrow, 17 on Saturday, 20 degrees for Sundays. We get a little bit clearer skies there. We'll get more cloud coverage on Monday, then more cloud coverage again on Tuesday, that high of 24. Then we warm up to 26 degrees on Wednesday, and then 23 degrees on Thursday, so we start to clear up a little bit. For the weekend heading into there, we are expecting about 1 to 3 millimeters of rain for Saturday, as well as a 51% chance of showers for tomorrow, starting overnight tonight, and that could carry over into Friday.